they're saying is shaking the polished image of brand Beckham hard. They claim there was tight control, quiet pressure, and subtle warnings to stay silent, long before the public ever saw cracks forming. While fans are still focused on the messy feud between Brooklyn, Nicola Peltz, for years the Brooklyn Beckham didn't since 2022.
They do this dance.
I could see that he would.
For years, the Beckham family pushed a flawless image, tight, powerful, untouchable, like nothing could ever crack it. Picture-perfect smiles, unity on display, a brand built to look unbreakable. Now that image is breaking apart in real time, and everyone can see it. At the center of this blow-up is Brooklyn Beckham, his wife Nicola Peltz, and her billionaire father, Nelson Peltz, a man insiders claim never believed Brooklyn truly belonged with his daughter. What started as quiet judgment behind closed doors has exploded into an all-out family clash. This isn't small drama. We're talking legal letters, icy silences where love used to live, and tension so deep it may never heal. Lines got crossed, bridges burned, and nobody is pretending anymore. And here's the question people can't stop asking. Is Brooklyn really acting on his own, or has he been fully pulled into the Peltz orbit? Because behind the glossy Instagram smiles and emotional captions, there's a real power move happening. The true breaking point came when Brooklyn publicly went after his parents in a long, emotional post. He accused David and Victoria Beckham of controlling the story, putting the brand first, and showing repeated disrespect toward his wife. And that changed everything. He didn't hold back at all. There was no soft landing, no room to twist it later. Brooklyn made one thing crystal clear. He was choosing Nicola, and reconciliation wasn't even on the table anymore. What shocked people wasn't just what he said, it was how final it sounded. No olive branch, no "we're talking", no "time will heal". Just a hard stop, a clean cut, and a message that felt permanent. And according to people close to the Beckhams, that post didn't come out of nowhere. Days before Brooklyn went public, something serious went down behind closed doors. David and Victoria reportedly sent their son a private letter, not online, not through friends, not leaked to the press, but sent directly to him. Why? Because by that point, communication had completely fallen apart. Brooklyn had allegedly sent a cease and desist notice demanding his parents stop mentioning him publicly and instructing them to speak only through lawyers. That move alone stunned the entire family. But what rattled them even more was who they believed was really behind it. Sources say the Beckhams didn't think that legal step came from Brooklyn alone. They suspected strong influence from Nicola and her family, especially her billionaire father. And here's the twist. The letter David and Victoria sent wasn't angry or defensive at all. It was something else entirely. Insiders describe that message as emotional, worried, and deeply personal. No threats, no ultimatums, just parents asking their son for one simple thing, proof that he was okay. But instead of calming the situation, it seemed to push Brooklyn even farther away. Within days, the public takedown dropped. Brooklyn said he was finally standing up for himself and fired back hard at the idea that Nicola controls him. He claimed that story had it completely wrong. According to Brooklyn, it was his parents who had controlled his life for years, and he made it clear he wasn't going back. This is where public opinion really splits, because while Brooklyn insists he's finally free, every move he's made since cutting ties tells a different story. His entire world has shifted closer to the Peltz family. He lives inside their orbit, moves in their social circle, and according to reports, only communicates with his parents through intermediaries now. That's why more people are starting to believe this isn't just emotional family tension anymore. It looks like a straight-up power struggle. And there's one moment everyone keeps coming back to: the wedding. More specifically, the now infamous first dance. Brooklyn has claimed his mother stepped into that moment with Nicola. A moment he says left him embarrassed and put on the spot. According to Brooklyn, Nicola ran out of the room in tears, and from there, everything changed. While people who were there remember it differently, one detail never changes. That moment shifted everything. The energy in the room flipped instantly. What was supposed to be pure celebration fractured on the spot. A night meant to bring two families together turned into a deep emotional wound that never healed. Even people trying to stay neutral felt the tension snap in real time. And let's be real, that dance was never about music or timing. It was about emotions, boundaries, and how everything was perceived in that moment. For Nicola, that night appears to have been the final breaking point. Reports suggest she made her position crystal clear after the wedding, according to people close to the situation. Brooklyn was reportedly told he couldn't keep both his wife and his mother in his life. No gray area, no compromise, just a choice, plain and simple. And Brooklyn made that choice. He chose Nicola. Since then, everything has only grown colder. Invitations have allegedly been declined, family events skipped, communication cut off entirely. Insiders claim Nicola has stayed firm, refusing to attend any gathering where David and Victoria are present. And that line hasn't moved. Whether you see this as self-protection or something far more calculated really depends on where you stand. But the outcome is impossible to ignore. Brooklyn Beckham is now almost completely disconnected from the family he grew up in. While Nicola Peltz has taken center stage publicly, the most powerful figure in this entire situation barely says a word at all. Her father, Nelson Peltz, moves very differently. He's a billionaire investor, a corporate heavyweight, and a man used to control, structure, and leverage. According to multiple reports, he was never particularly impressed. Sources claim he quietly dismissed Brooklyn's career attempts, photography, cooking, lifestyle branding, viewing them as scattered and lacking direction. No public insults, no loud blow-ups, just cold skepticism. And that kind of silence carries weight. Because when someone with that level of money and influence isn't convinced by you, it matters. Especially when this is where the story gets uncomfortable. When you strip away emotion, one reality stands out. Nicola Peltz didn't leave her world to join Brooklyn Beckham's. Brooklyn left his world to join hers. She stayed close to her family. She kept her support system solid. She remained financially independent. Brooklyn, meanwhile, stepped away from his parents, lost access to the structure he grew up with, and tied his emotional future to one household, the Peltz household. That imbalance is what worries observers the most. Not because Nicola is some villain, not because Brooklyn is weak, but because isolation is powerful. When one person or one family becomes your only emotional anchor, their influence grows, even without direct control. And while headlines keep dragging his name back into the spotlight, Nelson Peltz has stayed completely silent, and that silence speaks louder than words. No denials, no clarifications, no public defense of his son-in-law at all. And when it comes to Nelson Peltz, that silence doesn't look accidental. It looks strategic. People familiar with his world describe him as decisive, blunt, and completely unimpressed by image alone. Reports suggest he sees Brooklyn Beckham as unfocused, a young man still searching for direction while benefiting from a famous last name. That perception may not be fair, but when power enters the room, perception matters more than feelings. And insiders say Nelson's skepticism only deepened as Brooklyn's conflict with his parents escalated. Because in elite circles, cutting off your family doesn't signal strength. It signals instability. It raises questions. It creates doubt. And there's another quiet force shaping this entire feud: Brooklyn's professional identity, photography, cooking, lifestyle branding. Each new pivot has sparked public scrutiny and, according to reports, private concern inside the Peltz circle. While David Beckham built his empire through discipline, consistency, and long-term focus, Brooklyn's path has looked exploratory, uneven, and still unresolved. And in families where legacy matters, that contrast speaks louder than any argument. That contrast matters. When one family values legacy and endurance, and the other prioritizes results, leverage, and dominance, friction isn't optional. It's inevitable. Insiders suggest Nelson Peltz was never fully convinced. Not that Brooklyn Beckham brought enough to the table financially, strategically, or symbolically. People close to David Beckham and Victoria Beckham say the shift in their son didn't happen overnight. They claim it started quietly. Decisions Brooklyn once made on his own were suddenly deferred. Conversations became filtered. Private family talks started involving lawyers. They insist their son didn't always speak this way, didn't always frame them as villains, didn't always see himself as controlled. Brooklyn completely rejects that version of events. But the timing is hard to ignore. The deeper his marriage became, the further he drifted from his parents, step by step. And one of the most revealing parts of this feud isn't who's involved. It's who isn't. Brooklyn's siblings have stayed connected to their parents. They keep posting together, supporting each other publicly, and building independent lives, without cutting ties. That difference says more than any statement ever could. That contrast has sparked serious speculation. It suggests Brooklyn Beckham's situation might be unique, not systemic. And that raises an uncomfortable question. If the Beckham household was truly as controlling as Brooklyn claims, why did only one child walk away so completely and do it so publicly? Brooklyn has been praised by some for standing up for himself. But behind closed doors, insiders say the personal cost has been brutal. No casual check-ins, no random family dinners, no safety net to fall back on when things get rough. Every interaction is now formal, filtered, carefully managed. And once relationships reach that stage, rebuilding them becomes exponentially harder. Most celebrity family dramas follow the same pattern: shock, silence, then reconciliation. This one doesn't, because this situation isn't just emotional, it's structural. Two powerful families, two completely different value systems, one son caught in the middle. And the longer this drags on, the more permanent it starts to feel. That's what makes this so heavy. Because this was never just about one argument or one bad moment. It's about a fracture that keeps widening. This isn't just about feelings anymore. It's about systems, influence, leverage, and long-term consequences that don't